Hey everybody, welcome back to Country Living Homestead. Today we are going to be building a 10 by 32 cattle panel greenhouse. This video is going to include the step-by-step instructions as well as measurements. We know we've been watching a lot of videos and a lot of them do not have the measurements, so we are going to include that in our video. It's going to be going right here. As you can see, we got a nice level area for it. So we're going to get started. Let's get to it. Okay, so for the lumber that we're going to be starting with, I've got a total of 8 2x4 by 16 feet long. Here we've got 4 2x4 by 10s. We've got 15 2x4 by 8s. And we've got 3 packages of 6 furring strips in each. So that gives us a total of 18. Those are 1 by 2 by 8s. And as for hardware, we're going to be using these 5-pound boxes of 1 1/4 inch fencing staples and a 5-pound box of box nails 2.5 inches long. So that's what we're going to start with. We'll see if we need any additional materials as we go. So what I'm going to be using for the corners, I had these leftover 6x6s. So I'm going to cut these at 36 inches long. I wanted to have the ceiling of the greenhouse to be a little bit taller because I'm 6'5", and I definitely didn't want my head to be knocking into the roof of this thing all the time. So we're going to try this at 36 inches to see how that works and give that a go. Attaching this 10-foot long 2x4 on this corner brace that I just made. Again, it's 3 foot 6x6, so hopefully that should be sturdy enough for these northern New York winds that we get around here. So we'll give that a shot. The other 10-foot 2x4 on the bottom of this. So this is going to serve 2 purposes. One, it's going to help square this end up, but then also it's going to give us a lip right here that's going to allow us to attach the plastic to by using those 1x2 by 8 furring strips. Okay, for this step, I'm going to be using a 16-foot long 2x4 by 8, attaching it to this 36-inch 6x6. And basically what I'm doing is I measured 2 3/4 inches because that's center. So this is going to be the one side, and then the other side will be attached to going that way. So this is going to be the side panels. I may need to put some additional supports in. I want to see how it looks when everything is up. So we'll let you know how that goes. Okay, so I got the frame put up. A couple of potential problems I can see is I'm probably going to have to scab a board here just to sturdy that up a little bit, because it is a little bit on the shaky side. And because these are 16 feet, I'm probably going to have to put some braces in, like probably every 4 foot, just to try to sturdy it up some more. And my thought is to take a 2x4 and cut a sharp edge on the 2x4 and drive it down into the ground, so that way I can attach those sides to that to kind of give it some more rigidity. And then plus, hopefully, that should also assist in the high winds that we get around here. So we'll give that a shot and see how it goes. Okay, so what I've done is I took a 2x4x8, cut it directly in half, and then I took my jigsaw just to cut a point on it to drive it into the ground. My thought is, if I drive it into the ground like this, I'll be able to attach the sideboards to this to kind of give it a little more rigidity, and hopefully that should also help with the windstorms too. I seen folks take these cattle panels and attach them to the outside, but I think that it requires some additional padding so your plastic doesn't get torn. So my thought is I'm gonna attach it right to the top up here, and I'm just gonna put in some fencing staples, and I'm not gonna put them in the whole way, only because that's gonna allow me to lift up the other side on my own. So basically all I'm doing right now is I'm just squaring this up pretty nice. As you can see, that's pretty square. And then I'm just going to pound in a few staples just to hold it so I can get the other side up. Okay, so I've cut 4 24-inch length pieces from the 2x4x8s. I'm going to use those to scab on the outside like this to give it a little more rigidity. Those beams right there worked really well to hold this nice and tight. So I'm hoping that this should even give it some more rigidity. The only thing I am concerned about is when the plastic hangs over, I'm going to have these edges. So I got to do something about that. Maybe I'll take my Sawzall and just round that off so that way there's not any sharp edges to cut the plastic when it's on there. So we're going to put these on right now. It looks like I'm going to have to cut one down a little bit to about 32 inches because it's about 33 inches there. So it was a total of 8 cattle panels that I used, and that was perfect. But man, oh man, I'm so happy with the height of this thing. It's literally a little over 8 feet tall, so we can actually walk in this thing with no problem whatsoever. So I'm going to get ready to start framing in the back for our windows and for our vents and things. So we're going to get to that right now. Okay, so these cattle panels have a total of 24 squares. So if you want to find the middle, you just count up 12. So what I'm going to do is tie a string right there with a weight to hang down and find the center of where this is at, just to make sure everything is centered up when I start putting in these braces in the back. Okay, so as you can see, I got that tied pretty much in the middle. As it's hanging down, the center of the back wall is right there, so we're quite a distance away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this board right here to prop up against it to push that out that direction, so that way we can get this center before we start installing our other boards. Okay, we're looking pretty good now. Looks like we're pretty well centered. Just use that board to prop it up. Now we're going to start doing some measurements for these backboards on our back wall. Okay, so now I'm going to count up 9 of these, and that's where I'm planning on putting my first brace. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's the 9th one right there. This is an 8-foot board, so I'm probably just going to set that like that, mark it, make sure everything is level, and then we'll be able to attach the cattle panel right to the top of that to give a little more stability to the whole structure. So I'll give a measurement once I figure that out here in just a minute. Okay, so I just cut one of the braces for the back. It ended up being 93.5 inches long to the long end right here, and I cut it at about a 30-degree angle with my chop saw. So that seems to fit really well. The framing cut for the back here, this top board, again, I'm still doing a 30-degree cut. That seems to work out pretty well. This board right here is 87 inches, and this board down here is 49.5 inches. So I went 32 3/4 inch from here down to here, and that should be able to allow a mosquito screen that I bought for that was like 36 inches by 84 inches long, which of course we're not going to need that much, but that 36 inches should fit very well in here, so that way I can screen that out and then make a window that will open up. Okay, so I've stapled the mosquito screen on the back here, and my thought is I've stapled some on the back side, as you can see there, and then I stapled some on the front side over here. So my thought is to take a board and run from here over to here. That'll cover that in and frame that out nice. Same thing down here. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the outside over here too. So we'll put a board here to frame that out real nice. And then I'll be putting a window on there as well. Okay, so for this next step, I've cut 2 boards out of the 2x4x8s. These are both 32 3/4 inches long. So I'm going to put those on the outside to frame this in a little bit nicer where the screen's at. So for the final step of framing in the screen, I've cut 2 boards out of the 2x4x8s. These are 42 1/2 inches long. One's going to go here, and the other's going to go